G'day guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the Bushcraft treehouse build. Oh, my arm's getting sore. Done about 5 takes of this, so. As I said, this is part 2 of the Bushcraft treehouse build. If you haven't seen part 1, check that out on the playlist. You can watch it in full there. But for now, I'm going to keep going with the floor here that I started in part 1. And then, yeah, see how much work I get done today. But you guys have got the luxury of sitting back and watching it all happen in a few minutes. So it's, yeah, anyway, I'm going to crack on with it. And thanks again for watching, guys. As I always say, I do appreciate it. And yeah, thanks. Woo. Here comes the rain. This is where you need a waterproof camera. Don't know if you can hear that or not, but the rain has just started. Getting heavier. It's not wind you can hear, if you can hear that. That's rain hitting the trees. So I don't know how much longer I'll get to film. This is the last rail while I've got this chance. The hatch is going to go in here. So this is the last rail before the hatch goes in. So this whole area here will be the hatch, and it'll open up that way against the wall. I've still got the rails to tie in to make up the rest of the floor there. So I might have to do that without the camera, just because of the rain. But yeah, so the hatch will sit in flush with the floor. So the floor will just continue through when the hatch is closed. And it'll sit on this side rail here and on this rail over against the wall. So I'll give you a quick look at that. I'll have to pack the camera up because of the rain. So yeah, I've flashed it all in. Just got this, tying this in here, just because the rails around here aren't all perfectly straight. So I've lashed the other end in, but this is kicked out. There's about an inch gap there. So just tying on a constriction knot there, and then I just pull it tight, which drags that rail in, and then I just tie that off so you can see other spots on the floor where I've done that already. And then once I've got that lashed off there, then I can tie that off there and everything's locked in tight, and I've got a reasonably square hole to work with when I'm making the hatch. But yeah, I'll give you a quick look at this and a quick look around the floor, and then I'll put the camera away before it gets too wet. So and I'll get back to doing this off camera. Right. Alright, well it's really starting to rain heavy here now, but thought I'd just get this last shot for you. So this is the hatch that I'm sitting in. And then I'm going to have rails continuing down that side, and this rail here, it's going to be left exposed, so these will just sit only just on top of it, so that when I put the hatch in, when the hatch closes, it'll be sitting on that rail and sitting on this rail, so it'll run through, and then there the hatch will open up that way. You kind of understand that, but yeah, so just got to lash this rail in, lash those side ones on, and then start doing the wall frame. So yeah, I'm going to put the camera away and get nice and wet while I continue doing this for you guys. So when you come back, hopefully I'll be getting close to getting that done, and I might be a bit drier by then, because I might finish this off tomorrow, but I'll see how I go. Alright guys, well the rain's easing up, so so hopefully it won't be long before I can get back up on the treehouse that's it in the background there. This is one of the beauties of having the permanent shelter that I've built so close to the treehouse. So I'm sitting in the doorway. I've got the roof that overhangs, so it overhangs the doorway, and I designed it just for this reason, so that when it does rain, I can sit in the doorway, put my boots outside. If it's you know, if I've been out and it's muddy, don't really want to be bringing the boots in, so I can sit them in the doorway. They're not going to get more wet. But yeah, in this situation, it's good to be able to just get out of the treehouse and sit down here and wait for the rain to stop. So, that's what I'll do. Alright, I'm almost finished the floor, so I've just got a couple more rails to do there, a couple of small rails to do the other side of the tree there, and I'm glad to get off the floor. It's taken a long time to do it, just because every rail is tied in at least in two places. A lot of them are tied in 3 places, so a lot of lashing, and then you got to debark every piece as well and cut them to length. And anyway, I wanted to put in the effort now because this isn't like an overnight shelter that I'm building. It's a long-term thing, so I'm looking at building something that's going to stand up to years of use. So I want to do a good job first time round, so I'm not having to constantly be repairing things. So yeah, finish off the floor, and then I've got to do the framework, starting the framework for the walls and the roof. So yeah, to give you an idea what that's going to be like, the poles at this front edge, so I'm calling this the front, so the poles at the front will be taller than the ones at the back, so it's going to create this roof. So as you can see, the roof's going to slope down there, and then I'll put rails around it as well in the center of the wall. Be a window at this end, and I'm going to have a doorway there for a future project. So I'll tell you a bit more about that later on when we get to that stage, but for now I'm going to finish this floor off, and yeah, see about starting to measure up for these poles and get them started. Yep, keep going with it. Alright guys, so I'm up to lashing the framework on, and I've done a checkout on that just to marry up with the one I had on that original leg. So it's going to stand up there and overlap, which will just make it easier for me to lash on, and it's going to give it a bit more support there, stop it moving around as much. So and I've also, well, I've got it there, also at the other end done a checkout there for the top rail, the roof rail that's going to go through, just so it sits in place. But yeah, it should be fairly self-explanatory as I go along. But if not, leave a comment and I'll answer your question. But anyway, try to lash all this on. I've pre-rigged up the cordage here with knots in it, ready to go, just because I don't have an extra set of hands here to help me. And I'll see how this goes. As long as I don't wipe out the camera in the process, it's going to be all good. The wind's eased off a bit, so that's good. It was blowing a gale just a few minutes ago. Threatening rain again, as it always seems to. Every time I do a big build, it seems to rain, so I don't know if that's an omen or what, but it's just how it is. It is going to be lashed off a bit better than this. These are just a couple of quick lashings that hold it in place while I do the main bit over the top, just to stop it falling off the shelter. It's a bit of a pain having to walk down to the ground and recover things, but it's looking fairly good. Famous last words, but I think she's going to hold pretty well. I'm hoping to get this done tonight, this end, because like I said, there are forecasting rain all this week. Now this, I'm only working on it for a couple of hours each afternoon after work. It's yeah, it's a bit more challenging when it's raining in the afternoons. So anyway. Right, good to go, back in business. I want this on pretty tight. Just because I don't want it being able to move and twist and slip. Might throw the odd half hitch in here as well, just to just if it does start slipping in one spot, it'll only go as far as the next half hitch. It's a little wobbly, but by the time I got the roof on and the side rails and everything, it's all going to be locked in pretty tight. So, and if it's still wobbly, I can still put more lashings on it. So this other side, find the end that's the biggest. I think this is in. So it's going to get lashed in here. So it'll get lashed in like that. Didn't want to build the hatch yet until this is on, but it's kind of a precarious position that I'm in. A lot of trial and error. More error than trial, but it's all part of the fun. What I don't have is a hatchet, so still making do with my $1 knife. But if anyone out there's got a hatchet that want to send me, by all means get in touch. I'd love a hatchet. Just can't afford one. That's all it comes down to, really. So, now the fun part of trying to straddle the hole and lash this in. So I might actually utilise this pole, sit on that, so I can lash it in without falling to my death. It's not that far, but it's a good couple of metres. If I do fall, hopefully I'll land on my feet and I can sort of roll with it. I'm going to try this at home, kiddies. Oh, I should have. Rookie error. Get my cordage organised first, so I don't have that same issue. I had when I started that one. I've been all wrapped up on myself. I have no idea yet how I'm gonna lash this on. So your guess is as good as mine. But sit here talking about it all day, but it's best to just get in and give it a crack sometimes. So that's what we're gonna do. Oops. What did I say about things not always working out for me? That cordage that I wrapped around that bit of wood just fallen to the ground, so I'm just going to make do without it. Biggest danger isn't falling, it's this kicking over and wiping me out. Something I'm acutely aware of. Yeah. Kind of getting there. It's kind of feeling more secure. Don't know how easy this looks on camera, on video, but using every muscle of my lower body anyway, trying to stay in this tree. So I've got this pole that's rolling around underneath me. Got this thing that wants to move. I'm having to wrap my legs around the tree and brace against it so I don't start spinning. Oh, feeling it. Feeling it in the old legs. Alright. Wondering where the camera was. It was up there a minute ago and it's getting dark. Looking around, where's that camera? So I've checked these out. Get these on quick because, as I say, it's getting dark. Alright. I have to do temporary fixing on one end and then another one on the other end. Just hold it. in place. Slip this on the end here, so it doesn't fall off into the abyss. And I'll slip this one on. This end. Wear an extra set of hands, would come in real handy. That's going to rest there. Come here, you mongrel. I mentioned this isn't easy. Did I mention that? I think so. It's not. Just got to try to hold it in place long enough that I can get a start on the binding. I can always come back through and redo this. I just need to have it held in place long enough so I can get the other end going. Hopefully that stays there for a minute. Hopefully get this to go. Not losing it. Going on there. Not going to fall off, but I want it a bit more secure than that when I start putting the roof on it. So it'll do for tonight. This end. Alright. So as I said, put the cameras down there. Just this is a temporary thing for tonight. Now, just lash a rail on here, just onto this tree and onto here, just to sort of hold it all secure. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but better to be safe than sorry. That's what I'm going to do before the light fails me. Temporarily lash that one there. Alright guys, so that pole's all lashed in nice and tight. Happy with that now. Done the same in the other corner. So I'll show you what I've got going on up here. Didn't film it, but I've just put another pole in. Don't want to film all of it for you. Trying to keep this video as short as possible, but still show you everything I'm doing. It's basically the same thing as I've done with that pole. It's checked out, I've lashed that in. But I'll show you what I've done with the top rail on this front edge. Alright, so this is the front rail. It's the same thickness as the one I used on the end, but it's twice the length. I struggled with the one on that end, as you saw, trying to hold it up while I lashed it off, so I needed a way of doing it on my own, hold it in place while I lashed it on. So I'll show you what I've come up with there. Alright guys, so this is what I've come up with. I got a forked branch, and cut one side of the fork off, and I've lashed that on there. I've done the same at the other end, so I've got two of these on. It creates a cradle for the rail to sit in, cradle for the rail, and then I was able to move it up and down and lash it off so I could get that rail in the exact spot I wanted it, and it just holds it all in place, and then I could lash it off. I've still got some more lashing to do on this here, but I really liked how that worked out with that, using that branch. So I might actually upgrade it. Once I've got this lashed on, I'll get a more substantial piece and do the same, just lash it on there, just so I've got an extra support piece there. So if it's just sitting on here, there's a chance it could slide off. Hopefully not, but if I've got another rail on there, it's just got that extra bit of support there. So yeah, so that's what I did. That's what the solution I came up with, just to hold all this in place while working on my own. This rail here, which I'll show you. I'll climb out of this tree without falling to my death. Right, so this rail here, it's the same principle as I did with the that first wall. I've just lashed it off to the tree, and it's just bracing everything, holding it all in position. But it's also, I've been able to pull it over a bit to this. When I lashed this in, it was leaning right over this pole, so I've actually pulled it across so it's more vertical. I put some cordage on there as well, pulled it down on different angles just to get everything, trying to get everything square. And once I've got all the poles in, then I'm going to lash it across into this tree. So I'm going to have rails going through, and it's going to be boxed in around the tree, but I'll leave that for the next episode. Try to keep these videos under half an hour, because I know what it's like to watch a massively long video, but hopefully I've kept it flowing, and it's hasn't got too boring. You haven't had to skip through too many parts of it, but thanks for hanging in there anyway, and watching it all the way through. If you haven't subscribed, I always bang on about this at every video that I put out about subscribing, but I'm trying to put up good content for you, and always making it interesting. You can show your support for what I'm doing by subscribing, but when you subscribe, it's easier for you to find the channel again, to watch future videos that I put out. And once you've subscribed, you can hit the bell icon and get notifications every time I put a video up, so you don't miss out on anything. But yeah, for now, I think I've gone over half an hour, but thanks again for watching. I do very much appreciate it, and yeah, till next time, see you around.